So something really weird happened yesterday. I was jogging, I fell, and my atoms duplicated, and now I have a clone. That's me. See? Pretty cool, right? What is going on, dudes and dudettes? Major Pineapple here, and today me and my clone want to give you a double feature. I'm going to be talking about our favorite video game collections, and he's going to be talking about what games we want to see in a collection. Or in the spirit of the video, I'll start. Hi. I'm going to start off by saying I loved the Super Mario 3D. Why do you get to start off the video? Because I'm the original, and you're the clone. You're the Ben Reilly to my Peter Parker. Okay, that's fair. Thank you. As I was saying, I love the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. I think some of the controversy it's getting, saying that these ports are lazy, it's kind of dumb. Do I wish that they maybe did more? Yes. Am I happy with what we got? Absolutely. They're not remaking these games, they're just putting it out for a modern audience. Like, look at Rare Replay. These aren't top to bottom remasters. While they do have some quality of life improvements for sure, at the end of the day, they're just ports. While remastering 30 games is a lot more work than 3, it's still essentially the same thing. I definitely need to buy that again. Hopefully they'll add it to the Switch because Microsoft and Nintendo have been playing nice for a while now. And a lot of those are classic Nintendo games, so... Collections like these are perfect for the gaming industry. They allow for more people to experience a series in a single package no matter how old the game is or how old the player is. They could be someone's first introduction to a beloved series. I'll bet a few people got their start with the classic Mario games from the Super Mario All-Stars collection on the Wii and fell in love with the series. Without a doubt, one of my favorites is the Ezio trilogy. Assassin's Creed is probably my favorite game series of all time. I've fallen somewhat out of love with the series, and the last one I really liked was Origins. I'm still fascinated by Assassin's Creed and slightly follow the games, not as heavy, but just enough to know what's up and up with the series. I wish that we could get these games on Switch. Why do we have 3, 4, and Rogue, but not Ezio, the face of this franchise? I know I just talked about this, but just let me vent, please. Thank you. For me, this is what Assassin's Creed is and always will be. Ezio is a character that's still talked about and looked up to this day, and for good reason. He's charming, a skillful acrobat and fighter, and has one of the best character arcs in recent memory. I'm happy that Ubisoft is evolving the series into what it is today, and I much prefer them doing that than just giving us the same game with a different time period or character. And there are fans of the new Assassin's Creed who probably don't enjoy the first ones. As you can tell, I'm clearly not in that camp, but like I said, I'd much prefer them evolving the franchise into what it is now than just being stagnant. I love platformers, doesn't matter 2D or 3D. If I have to jump from one platform to another, I am all for it. I've said it before, but Ripto's Revenge is one of my favorite platformers ever and probably one of my favorite games ever. The fast pace and delightfully quirky style of Spyro is always going to have me coming back, and with games like Ratchet & Clank and Crash Bandicoot having more releases, where's the love for the Purple Dragon? I want to say though, I feel like the Switch version got gimped. The game is not so visually straining and intense to have the Switch version look this hazy compared to the PS4 and the Xbox One version, but I'm still happy with it nonetheless. The collection made me fall in love with the series and platformers again as a whole. I can't wait to see what Toys for Bob does with Spyro in the future. They capture that 90s energy that's just not found anymore. And even though this is my first time really diving into the Spyro games, I had an absolute blast doing it. Do the NES and SNES Online count? Let's argue and say it does. I have played maybe 5 to 6. Nothing crazy, of course, but it's still awesome to have this huge catalog of games to play whenever I want. Or wherever. And having all these classics at the tap of my fingers just puts the original Virtual Console to shame. The likelihood of me actually playing and beating all of these games is slim to none. But if we're talking classics though, nothing is more classic to me than Halo. And of course the Master Chief Collection was going to exist. Halo's the most iconic first-person shooter ever. What about Call of Duty? Halo is one of the most iconic first-person shooters ever, and it's the first FPS I ever played. Master Chief is one of the most recognizable characters in all of video games, and rightfully so. This man is an absolute unit, especially if you've read some of the books. Even though the series kinda went downhill after 3, he still has a strong place in the medium. Probably my favorite Halo game though doesn't even have Master Chief. I loved Halo 3 ODST. The atmosphere in the world took us to a corner in the Halo universe that we've never seen before. This underdog and this brood of a series deserves a video on its own. This was the first I beat, and I could still vividly remember the nights I'd stay up playing Firefight on Xbox Live with my best friends. This collection is probably the best value, getting 5 AAA games for just $40, and each game has critical and commercial success, and each individual entry can easily stand on their own. Even though I haven't played in a long time, I still love and respect Halo so much, and soon I hope that they add Master Chief into Smash Bros. The Master Chief Collection is stellar beyond words and have some of the most fun multiplayer experiences you could get too. Sometimes though, you just want to play something light, and that's where 51 Clubhouse Games comes into play. Look, I don't care what you say, it's my list, and it's amazing, okay? Yes, they're not the games you expect. Yes, it's similar to the iOS games from 10 years ago where it'd be simple platformer fighters 31 and 1 games free, but I don't care what you say, this is fun. And honestly, the baseball, tennis, and boxing kind of hit my Wii Sports nostalgia bone. I'm probably not even gonna touch half of these, but you do get an insane value here. I wanted a dartboard for a while, and now I could finally have one. The first time I played with an actual dartboard went something like this. Alright, just need that 7. But I still love having this. All these games are classic, and while they're not going to ruin friendships like other Nintendo multiplayer titles like Mario Kart, Mario Party, or Smash Bros, it's still a good time no matter what. And being able to play Mancala in a restaurant when you're waiting for your food is the definition of luxury. And real quick, look at how hard my girlfriend beat me in darts. But I've done my part. It's time to pass the torch over to X's Adam. Thank you, Major Pineapple. Now this can be one of the more peculiar videos I've done because I haven't been around for 6 years, but daydreaming about some of my favorite games I want to be collected is one of my favorite pastimes. Before we get on to what I really want, I'm going to list some honorable mentions. All of the PS2 Prince of Persia games. Yeah, we're getting Sands of Time Remastered, but they couldn't have added the other games too. Would it really have been that much more of a grind to add in the 2 Thrones and the Warrior Within? I've played the Warrior Within on PSP, not much, but enough to know that it's badass. Wii Sports Resort, and Pilot Wings Resort. Major Pineapple's already spoken about this to death, so I'm not going to get into it, but I know that I'm not the only one who wants it. The Lego Batman trilogy. The pack on Steam is $60, and it feels way overpriced at that point. But I want an official TT Games collection of how they've done Marvel or Harry Potter. The most iconic Lego game franchise next to Star Wars, and it gets no love. While these are all fun to imagine, I see the following as the most likely. Kinda? An anthology of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. While these are the more mundane of the 2D Mario games, they're still fun, but if you play one of them, you play them all. Yeah, we have U Deluxe and Mario Maker 2, and it'd be kind of a cash grab to do this, but I think it'd still be fun. I don't expect Nintendo to do this at all, but if they were to, I hope they can make it so each game had their own unique and distinct art style. Probably one of the biggest complaints about this series is that each game looks the same visually. The original Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 all had their own unique flair. It made each game stand out and helped you differentiate 1 from 2 from 3. If I were to play New Super Mario Bros. 1, Wii, 2, and Wii U side by side, you would not be able to tell the difference. Having each game have a different art style, even if it's just a small distinction, would make each game stand out on their own. Each game is clearly made from the same engine, and it doesn't even try to hide it. While I can see this being very cash grabby, I can also see this being very fun. Maybe even adding some multiplayer options like online and replacing the Toads with Waluigi and Wario. And plus, I've never played New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and this would be the best way to play it. While the new Super Mario Bros. Games is a little more of a stretch, I definitely see this being a lot more plausible. If J.K. Simmons and Jamie Foxx can both be recasted into the MCU as their original characters, even though they're from different Spider-Man universes, if Steve can be added into Smash and Master Chief be teased for Smash, if SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom can get a remaster, you cannot argue with me that this isn't possible. A collection of the Spider-Man games, whether it be from the Raimi universe or from the Beanox games, I'm fine either way, honestly. But to be honest, I'd prefer the Beanox games. It doesn't matter what way you look at it, each game, even if it's in the same universe, has a different visual style, and each game has different gameplay. Even if it's slightly different, they could easily stand out on their own. Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 was not only the most influential Spider-Man game, but arguably the most influential superhero game. This was the first superhero game that actually made you feel like the character. While I'm not a fan of Spider-Man 2's web swinging and just not a fan of the game as a whole, I still have a huge amount of respect for what this game is and what it means to everyone who's played it. And while the original 2 Beanox games aren't traditional Spider-Man games, they do the character almost perfectly with the cast and the characterization. Remember in one of my previous videos? I love Spider-Man. And I am never going to shy away from that fact. I would definitely want this to be a multi-platform release because Spider-Man is only delegated to the PlayStation as of now, so having it on the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X and S, or the Switch would be amazing to have. Sony of course has the movie rights to Spider-Man, and they added the Raimi suit and the first Garfield Amazing Spider-Man suit to the Insomniac game on PS4 and PS5, so is this really too insane to believe that it could happen? Sony even puts out collections of all the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tom Hardy's Venom all in one collection, even though they're not a part of the same universe. Well, both the Toms are kind of in the same universe, so I don't really know. But for this next collection, all you need to hear is the beginning line of this song to know what I'm talking about. At least 99% of people on Earth know this song and what it's from. And that's a fact. Let's see if you recognize this gem. As a kid, I was definitely more into Sonic than Mario. I remember sinking so many hours into these games. I remember playing them in the back seat of the car with the GameCube portable monitor and playing these games with my cousins. Sonic Adventure Battle 2, I know that's not what it's actually titled, but it sounds a lot better than Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, was my most played game when I was a little kid. Generations was awesome and could honestly be known as a Sonic Adventure 3. We haven't had a 3D Sonic game in so long. I'm not counting those, they don't exist. It's sad seeing this beloved and iconic character grow more obscure throughout the years. The Sonic movie was awesome and could have easily revitalized some of that energy that Sonic had. The last I played any of these games was Sonic Adventure Battle 2 on the Xbox Live Arcade. It was about 8 years ago and it definitely didn't hold up to what I had in my head. But if we had a collection or the right people remastering these games, that could easily bring Sonic back into the mainstream. But anyway, dudes and dudettes, we hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button, and let me know down in the comment section below, what are some of your favorite video game collections, and what are some collections you want to see? Anyway, dudes and dudettes, Major Pineapple out.